I have a couple basic swivel mounts here. Hey, welcome back to my workshop. I really appreciate you being here. You're probably here because you saw part one of putting together my new Tikka T3 Custom, which is exciting. The first thing we did was mill this gorgeous jeweling into our bolt. We also polished the bolt handle. Now the next step of this project is to mount the scope. And I think you're gonna enjoy the scope choice for this one. Now the rings we have are made by Tally and they're the low. Now with this build, I wanted to get away from the multiple pieces here separating the scope and the action. I usually mount like a rail or individual like Weaver rail pieces, but for this build I wanted to keep with a one piece, just one bridge between your rifle body and the scope body. These are beautifully machined bases, really like them. Now I know you're curious, what rifle scope did we choose for this package? And it took a lot of consideration, a lot of research, budget in mind, and what was available at the time in mind. I narrowed it down to two choices, and I chose the Vortex Viper. This is a 4 to 12 by 40 mil objective lens. I had my choices down to this model right here and the VX Freedom from Leopold, and I ended up choosing the Viper. Let's have a look here. The scope came from Blue Ridge Outfitters in Lewisport. I was paid nothing to tell you that. And here it is, 4 to 12 Viper gives you a longer body, which I like the look of. Nice long scope. It's still not real heavy. It has the Viper series has a parallax adjustment. Nice looking scope. I love the 4 to 12 range. It's what I have on my 223 Savage. It's a Model 11. Now something else I really love about the Viper range, look how these numbers face you. Most scopes you have to get up over top of the scope and look down on your zoom ring in order to see what power you're on. But with this Viper series, it's looking straight at you, and I think that's really nice. Okay, here we go. This is super exciting for me. I would love to have a lapping rod to lap these rings, but just by initial assessment there, without that, there's no wobble, no gaps. Everything is pretty much seamless all the way around in the crest of those rings in the bottom of them. So now 40 mil objective is my favorite because it lets you mount your scope as low as possible. Now we're gonna have a little bit higher mounted of a scope than I like. Now if you look at this space right here, in order to be most comfortable on your rifle, this should be as low as possible. So the bigger this objective end gets, so when you get a scope that's a 40 mil versus a 42, a 50 mil, this end, that's the measurement of this end, it keeps getting bigger. So obviously the bigger the objective end, the farther your scope has to be off of the action or it won't clear, it'll be touching your barrel. Now my thought was, if I buy the low rings, I have the bulk here to mill these down. I don't know if that's a crazy idea or not. Okay, I can't handle that. We're gonna have to backtrack a little bit and remove those rings. I'm gonna mill those down to a height that I like. We're gonna have to shorten those screws a little bit as well. We have lots of bulk here. This is no problem in terms of structural integrity or anything like that. The only thing I'm worried about is getting that perfect flat surface. So now we're flat with our surface. We want to take 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to be going down. We're zeroed. I've moved away outside of my piece. We're going to go down. Let's unlock my quill here. 1/8 of an inch, which is 0.125 of an inch. So the quill is locked firmly, the Z-axis, the main head is locked firmly. Now, by my calculations, I have them within 0.03 of each other. The lulls of the two pieces. So we're going to zero out, subtract 0.03 and do a face pass. Now this will be the smallest amount here. Okay, let's try this again with that beautiful vortex. Oh, that's the fit we're looking for. Approximately an 1/8 inch. Could have even squeezed a 1/16 off of those rings, but I didn't want to overdo it. Let's have a look. Okay, first test here. Beautiful. My face just follows my eye. Grabs right under my cheek here. Fall right under there. Perfect. And now we're over at the leather working table because every rifle needs a good sling. If you don't, your hands are always occupied. And a lot of times, of course, you want your hands. You want a sling. So I have a beautiful piece of leather. I don't want any nylon or anything like that on this rifle. I want something heritage, something real nice. And for me, that's leather. To fit with this rifle, that's leather. So I have a beautiful leather blank here. Gonna cut it to length. I have a couple basic swivel mounts here. I really like these. I've tried lots of different types, more expensive ones, cheaper ones, and I don't really find much of a difference. As long as they're not plastic, they're just fine. Now, any gun straps I've made in the past all had adjustments and stuff on them, but I just haven't found that they're usable. I don't change it out. I keep it on the one thing, and I have the one length I like, and that's what I stick with. So, this time, I'm going to make a very simple one. I went in and measured the last one that I made for my 223. It was 35 inches between the swivels, so I'm going to go 37 to give an inch on each end, and that's what we're going to go with. Now we have an 1.5 inch strap, and most of these are 1 inch, so obviously we're going to have to come in here on the end a little bit. I'm going to give myself 1/2 of an inch. And then we'll come in 1/4 inch on each side, of course. Now we'll use a stitch groover because I just love that nice, sharp, even line. Have a look at that. We're going with an understated look for this strap. I don't want anything to draw from the rifle. I don't want this to be the most exquisite strap in the world. Now we punch 2 holes wherever we want them. Thread this through. And now we can come through. We'll use that to mark the back wherever we want it. So line it up left to right. You don't want it skewed. Want enough material for your rivets. We'll go something like that right there. A couple pencil marks. Now black leather is what I'm feeling for this. Really seems like the right choice. That's what I'm going with. Again, understated. I don't want this strap to be what catches your eye about the rifle. There's so much more beauty there than for the strap to take up. And there is our heirloom black leather strap on our heirloom rifle. And I am so very happy with this package. Just the right length there, no extra hanging off. Nice tight carry to do a single shoulder, and there is just enough, mind you, no extra, to do like over the body. I probably could squeeze like a winter coat on there, no problem. You can see it'll wear a little higher, and I've got some slack there, but no extra. The rifle's not dangling down around my behind or anything. Nice and snug, black leather, very happy with it. I really hope you enjoyed this project, this build. Ties in closely with our knife work because this is the pre-game, and then our knives come in for the post-game to finish it off. Very happy. What do you think? What do you think of my choices here? The choice in strap color with the black, I think it accomplishes exactly what I wanted, which was a really nice, rich-looking strap, but subtle. Doesn't draw attention. You barely even notice it here on the rifle, which is exactly what I wanted. Polished bolt handle, the jeweling, do you like that? Would you like it on yours? And what about that scope choice? Of course you could have made a better scope choice, say if you had $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 to spend, but that just wasn't my budget with this rifle. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if it's your first time here. Hit that like button, and I hope to see you in the next video.